Like, if these movements are really the way the movement looks in the game, right? And these armors and these, like, if this is actually in the game and this isn't just like promotional material, this looks cool as shit. What this does to me is this takes me back to the first time I played Minecraft. Boys, I'm excited for Hytale. I'm not gonna lie, I've been wanting to play Hytale. This is definitely on my radar. I'm excited to boot it up. I'm excited to play it. So let's see what Belular's got to say about it, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm really excited to try this game.
6 months ago, Hytale was dead. It had been in development for nearly a decade, building, of course, on the Hypixel Minecraft servers, which are wildly popular. More than 60 million people watched the reveal trailer, Riot acquired it, and then things got messy.
I mean, that's true. Hypixel is wildly successful, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know about Hytale because I didn't follow its development cycle. It's crazy that this game almost, like, was almost destroyed numerous times. Or was like almost like just dropped from development, and it came out and it's doing pretty good right now.
Leadership felt the weight of those 60 million viewers who were demanding a fully fledged and now expecting a Riot quality experience. That led to them doing things like rebuilding the engine from scratch, you know, so that it
that can't be what the game actually looks like, right? That can't, like, there's no way that everything they just showed was in engine, because that looks fun as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Could also be a mobile game, and probably anywhere else that it could potentially be stuffed, because when you're doing something for Riot, it's got to be $1 billion franchise. This was a total nightmare. It got Hytale trapped in development hell, and then when Riot's economics changed, they needed to get rid of it. No one else wanted to buy it at the time, so the project was cancelled. But it turns out people made a lot of noise, and now Hytale is alive. And the way it went down is almost too good to be true.
I'm gonna be happy if Hytale does great, like really puts up numbers and just kicks ass. I'm gonna be so happy if that happens and Riot let it go, because this is gonna show what happens when developers don't understand projects, because almost anybody can look at this and see that if it wasn't saddled with a bunch of like tech debt and like development costs, and if it wasn't like micromanaged and ran into the ground and designed by or like developed by committee, and if you just like let it go, that you would be fine, right? But no, they tried to micromanage the hell out of it, and now the game's doing well.
Fan outreach drove Hypixel leadership, Simon and Philippe,
I would love to see it,
buy the game back from Riot. It actually seems Riot were happy enough to sell it to them. They then iterated on the last playable build before all the engine rewrite chaos. They made it shippable, and last week, 6 months after Riot killed it, Hytale launched into early access. Though not Steam early access, they definitely don't think it is ready to go to that stage yet. But what it means is we can finally play it, we can finally talk about it. I have played it, I'm a lifelong Minecraft player as well, so let's get into it.
Dude, if this video is as good as I'm hoping it is, then we're gonna have to download it, right? Like, it's gonna have to be something we play on stream tomorrow.
Because Hytale isn't just not dead, I would say Hytale is thriving, and its future has literally never looked better. With the early and early access actually mattering, well, is it a bit shit? Well, so far I would say, no, it is not a bit.
I really wish it was on Steam. The only thing that's slowing me down right now is the fact that I know it's another launcher.
Bit shit. I think Hytale really does work. Now, early reviews have leapt on the Minecraft 2 framing because it's basically a sandbox crafting game with years of taste refinements baked into it. More intuitive building systems, streamlining for pain points like punching trees, modernized movement. I mean, man, the movement does feel so good. Hell, even take a look at this tweet where basically...
Dude, I watched Asmon play and watched him like running and jumping and mantling in the distances he could climb. And I was like, dude, this looks so much better. Because there were like lava pits he was jumping over. And I was like, dude, I would never do this in Minecraft because the Minecraft movement is just not good.
Basically, people are just chaining stuff.
I saw
in a
this
way
too.
That almost reminds me of like Mario 64 movement in the hands of someone who's amazing at the game. You know, the kind of Doom style. Is being able to exploit movement like this a bug or a feature? When you have problems like that in
It's a feature. That right there, being able to skate, is a skill gap, and you leave those things in games. You do not strip that out of a game under any circumstance.
Your game,
ever.
I think that's a really good sign. As is another thing, because while this and Minecraft share their blocky core, here's how Hytale is different. It's not really focused on, say, the long-term automation stuff of Minecraft, like all of the redstone and that technical stuff. Instead, the sort of action RPG elements of it are way more amped up with a lot more depth and, frankly, just a lot of juice. They look and feel good. that does help it stand out. You've got more personalized character building, a higher fidelity art style, and basically that same expansion of things applies to weapons, magic, combat. All of those things have quite a bit more depth.
It looks stupid dumb good, right? Is this like, this is like one of the ARPG mods for it, right? Oh man, I've been dragging my feet. I think it's time to just pull the trigger. I think it's just time to pull the trigger on it.
Now, some of that is depth that you could get with Minecraft add-ons, be that just ones you install in Java or Bedrock and PC or stuff from the Minecraft marketplace.
Also, I'm going to hop in here really quick. Torreya was telling me about this earlier, that you can play on servers and you can play on modded servers, and the servers hold all the mods. You don't have to hold them. So unlike Minecraft, where you have to like know all about modding, know about all these detailed systems and stuff, it sounds like for this game, you can just, it's plug and play. It's on the server side. So if you want to play a different game mode, a different game style, you want to try something different, you just load into that server and it's all there.
I think the difference, though, is what the base experience is. That's where it's quite different in Hytale, and in a way where I think modders are going to be able to do some really cool things. Now, from my experience playing it, I think the first thing that really surprised me, maybe I shouldn't say surprised, I mean, even this older build wasn't out for ages, but it's just the execution of the fundamentals, right? The basics of crafting, movement, even object placement just feel considered. I mean, as an example in Minecraft, if you're trying to place...
You couldn't do this in Minecraft. You can't put little items on shelves like this. It doesn't function that way because the spaces aren't the same, right? This is absolutely amazing, guys.
Objects. There are rules that'll dictate, what orientation the object is placed in. Do you know what's great about this game? You can just tap the R key and you'll see like a little ghost version.
Look at that.
That will just show you how it will be placed. If you tap R again, it'll rotate it again. Those sorts of things feel absolutely
Did that have
fantastic.
was that a size? You can just zoom things to like make them bigger or smaller? Dude, the amount of customization, that's wild.
And also, well, they've gone away from the block-based crafting of Minecraft. It's now done at these crafting tables in a way where it's not about arranging blocks, which, let's be real, is a lot closer to how so many Minecraft players actually craft in the game these days. It feels real good.
The thing about like crafting and the crafting system is, I don't know how many of you guys played Minecraft when it first came out, but there was no book. You had to literally memorize how to craft. So like that's why things had to be intuitive and intuitively set up in a way that if you thought about crafting something, you could muse through the sort of like the order that it would need to be placed in the crafting table to give you like the proposed results. But over time they added ease of use, which was the crafting book, as crafting got way more involved and you needed those types of things because people couldn't memorize it. But they still kept the antiquated system because it was part of the identity of Minecraft, right? I don't know, man. The more I see about this game, the more excited I am for it, and the more I think I need to just stop dragging my feet.
And it, to me anyway, it feels intuitive in a way that kind of suggests someone sat down and really tried to think hard about the friction points that exist in this genre. And what that meant for me coming in fresh is that there was just a lot of little moments of delight, be that in the progression or the basic mechanics, that I think show that even at this very early stage, it is engaging. It's actually more engaging than I expected it would be. So I think there is something here. Now for me, the lack of automation and redstone related gameplay does really hurt things substantially. I think though the modders will be able to fix that kind of thing. I mean, man, if you had Hytale and then something like Minecraft Create, holy shit, that would be absolutely insane.
I mean, this game is so early, but if you have a game that is like this good at the base, then modding is just going to go through the roof, right? As compared to a game that is very basic and then modding has a lot of heavy lifting.
And if me talking about automation seems like it's a bit out of left field, oh no, it's not. Take a game like Factorio. Factorio was partially inspired by automation and industry-based Minecraft mods.
Holy crap, man.
Those very same Minecraft mods were literally the first thing I ever made YouTube videos
Just curious. Never really played Minecraft, but it looks very similar. It's based off of Minecraft. It's a Minecraft-like, for sure. Like the whole engine, everything's based off of Minecraft. I don't know. The game looks good. We'll be checking it out for sure. I think that we're just going to have to do it. We're just going to have to pull the trigger on it.
Long time ago. And on the topic of mods, it seems what they are doing for modding is absolutely insane. The modding tools appear to be quite amazing, and just to showcase a little bit of that, here's a Survivor-style game that one of their team made as a mod over the Christmas break. Is that not just, like, incredible? So at least by my estimation, things are looking real good.
This is going to be insane. If you can take this game and add a mod and make make vampire survivors in the game. This is basically going to be like another version of Roblox, right? Where you can just say and do and play and have fun and do whatever. And the world itself is going to be, or like the engine itself is going to be what people use.
Though I should cover a few complaints. One of the more frequent ones is that right now it really is a sandbox. There's not as much progression to like structure or guide players, which I think makes sense. I mean, Hypixel, or to be clear, the new Hypixel Studios Canada, they've only had the project for a few months, and I think it explains why they were so quick to get modders and creators involved, because they can, well, generate content far faster than the studio can alone.
And I think that's smart. I think in a situation like this, getting modders on board early is going to give them a real chance at succeeding. Because if you look at games like Ark Survival Evolved, or you look at games like 7 Days to Die, there is a real embrace of the modding community. And then the companies can take the mods, work with the modders, implement mods into the base game, and then do that in tandem with the development they're doing. So you're allowing multi-level, like multifaceted approaches to the game, where fingers are going out in a bunch of different directions, and you as the developer are going one specific direction, all these fingers going different directions, and then you can talk to the modders and work to bring that in and have it sort of take the best ideas and implement them into the game while still maintaining the direction you want. And it is essentially like a free workforce.
Especially because they can just go in and fill all of the niches that players are kind of finding or wanting. It's one of the cool bits of modding. And one thing that I like that bodes real well for the future is public posts from Simon that are as opinionated in current game systems as the players have been. So here's one message he sent: I need suggestions to make mining in Hytale more satisfying / fun. I'm not happy with it. Finding ores or strip mining is not good enough. So it's good to see that that's kind of their approach to development.
I think that is really good, which is, we know this doesn't work. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a genius, but here are some ideas I have. What do you guys think? Because you guys are the gamers, and this is the difference between working with your community and letting your community dictate, right? There are tons of games out there like First Descent and a few other games that have lost creative control over their game, and they have no real idea what direction they're going in or what they want to do in these live service games. So then they start sort of like listening to vocal parts of the community, or they start like giving up part of their creative design because they've lost the forest for the trees. So now they're just grasping at straws. And I think this is a very different approach, which is an approach of, we know what we want, and we're not going to deviate from what we want, but we're willing to take input from you guys to help us make sure that we land on a system that everybody's comfortable with. Well, yeah, and not just willing to take input, but let players change the game with modding. Exactly. This goes to what I think will make this game successful, and will leverage the community and make the community feel like the game is theirs. And I think that is a big thing in gaming, is feeling like you are part of it in a good way.
So, whichever state Hytale is launched in,
what up, Chips?
That's obviously going to change. That could be better or for worse. I probably think better, but thus far, I haven't talked about...
Like, if these movements are really the way the movement looks in the game, right? And these armors and these... Like, if this is actually in the game, and this isn't just, like, promotional material, this looks cool as shit. It takes me back... What this does to me is this takes me back to the first time I played Minecraft. I remember the first time I played Minecraft, and I remember finding a chasm where there was, like, just, like, a rift, and you could see directly down into this chasm, and you could see like a lava pit below. And I remember mining out a big chunk of that, making a big glass wall, like making walkways over, and just having this really cool looking base, which was cool to me at the time. Today's gamers have, they can do whatever they want, but the systems were much more basic back then. And just seeing these cool systems and using them and bending them to your will and creating like once in a lifetime moments for yourself as a gamer.
Numbers. I've just talked about the feel of the game, but the neat thing is we do actually have numbers for this one. What a launch this thing had. So Hytale became the most streamed game on Twitch. There were hundreds of thousands of people. Basically, it got all the sandbox game creators just out of the woodwork to play it, obviously. Now, there were technical hitches, especially around content creation and server access, but Hypixel had spent
420,000 viewers. Dude, I didn't even realize that it was that big when it happened.
Month downplaying people's expectations, so I think people were actually prepared for something a lot worse than what they ended up getting. And in terms of numbers, an early unverified source suggests 2.8 million players total. That's wild, and it may not be far off reality.
Work is work, all new games. Dude, Hytale has been on my radar for a little while. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so I was like, I really want to get through Rebirth, but man, I really want to play this game. The more I see on this game, the more I want to play it.
I mean, estimates during server tests were putting the concurrent players at over
Am I gonna enjoy it?
1 million on launch day.
Even Terea was in here earlier saying that she's enjoying the shit out of it. It reminds me of Valheim. You remember when Valheim released and everybody played it and everybody enjoyed it, everybody enjoyed the sandbox, and nobody had anything bad to say about it? Everybody's like, yeah, I can tell the game's early, I can tell the game's not finished, but I enjoy the game and I enjoy the systems, and I think they've done a really good job.
1 million! And that's for a game that isn't even on Steam. That's absolutely wild, though I do think it is kind of predictable based on just all of the hype that existed for the game. Sure, also seems that their pre-order trends were really, really good. In fact,
man, it
good
looks
enough to solve one of the largest problems that faces early access.
like, look how dumb fun. Like, man, like, doesn't this just look dumb fun? Dude, you got like a big ogre, you got a guy riding a fucking goat with a flaming sword, his cape, you got like an icy wonderland. Is this in the game right now? I have no idea. But does it look cool? Yes. Does this look fun? Yes. Does this look like a world in which I can be like, I'm going to have like new experiences, and new experiences are going to continue to unfold, and I'm going to be able to relive that very first Minecraft experience, the first time you played Minecraft, the first time. Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. And Minecraft was one of those games when it came out 20 years ago, hit in a way that nothing had hit up to that point, right?
Games. And that's getting a spurt of money, but not enough to actually finish the damn game. Here's the cool thing then. Hypixel revealed that through the pre-purchases alone, that they've actually secured 2 years of development funding.
That's
and that's
wild.
on top of Simon and Philippe, the Hypixel founders, personally committing to a decade of support. So that's big.
This is huge. I think people are not understanding, if this game does even half of what it looks like it's going to do, this is going to be the game.
It gives potential players a lot
right?
of confidence.
Like, it's going to be the
The
game.
game wouldn't just disappear after a year. Such good pre-order numbers probably wouldn't happen without people having that confidence, but they also wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the Hypixel hype machine being so damn good. Because
Absolutely.
seriously, this is one of the best bits of marketing that I've seen. When I say it's good marketing, you might be thinking about traditional marketing, but I'd say in reality, the best marketing is just a compelling story that people are interested in. A story people want to follow, because that's how humans work.
Absolutely.
And in this case, it's the most obvious Phoenix narrative, but in a way that's...
I think that the idea behind like the Phoenix narrative and all that, and that type of marketing, like, sure, I think that is like a real thing, and maybe that does get some people on. But I can tell you, like, for me personally, I knew literally nothing about this game until I saw screenshots of it in like November, December, and I saw some video, and I was like, this is a thing. Like, as gamers, in my view, you have moments where you look at a game and you go, that right there, that looks like the thing that I've needed. And to me, until I play the game and we see it fleshed out, I can't guarantee that that's what that this game is that, but I can tell you from looking at it, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that.
Got credibility, because it really does seem true. Of course, though,
the game looks good, though.
Hypixel needed to build around that, so that's why they set expectations on stability and content volume. They were still giving people something to look forward to, but they were doing a real good job of hedging against the negative, whilst also driving an ecosystem of sandbox creators who had literally waited a decade for this game. It also helps that January is a quiet as hell month for a game like this to launch.
Absolutely.
They just weren't facing much press competition. I mean, when so little's going on in the industry, there's a pretty low bar of newsworthiness, so obviously this got covered absolutely everywhere. But even with that, you still need novelty and marketing saturation before people kind of make that purchase. So what they did, which was real smart, is they gave modders, server hosts, and creators early access to start building. That meant they guaranteed themselves a massive library of support before the launch even happened. And of course,
I'm telling you, this right here, any company or any game that makes a game like this, like a survival game or whatever, like a sandbox game, if you are not working to ensure a very healthy modding support system, you are absolutely throwing. Anybody that is sort of like opposed to modding in a game that is not competitive, you're fucking killing yourself. One of the biggest examples to this, and I don't know if it's still the case, but I will tell you right now, like one of my biggest examples of like refusing modding hurting your game is Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is one of those games that, as far as I know, they have been very vehemently opposed to people modding their game. And it doesn't make sense to me because you're trying to like keep the sanctity of like public lobbies or whatever. You can separate things out in a million different ways, but why you're not allowing your community to mod the game and then working with modders to ensure like faster development times and to come up with good ideas and to crowdsource things is absolutely wild to me. You're going to learn to mod. Dude, I think it's an interesting thing, man.
With Hytale's modding framework, well, they had the perfect tool for that. You see, on January 8th, Hypixel gave modders the green light to start posting their work. And what followed was a huge surge of attention. There's the Survivor-style game I mentioned earlier.
That's awesome.
There's also Doom being around within the game. There's a side-scroller version. There's just so much. And obviously, this all broke through in the press coverage and drove massive, massive interest. I mean, just look at Google Trends. It shows engagement orders of magnitude beyond anything before, even when the big news story dropped that the game was first saved. So
look
far,
at
so
that.
good.
Look at the amount of attention this game is getting.
Obviously, this is just the start, and there's a lot of room for things to go wrong. There's always a honeymoon period where you get to play a game you thought would be dead. And that honeymoon period does end up ending, maybe when the progression or the content just feels thin, right? That's obviously an issue. There's a lot of criticism over, say, world generation. It's also fair to say it's a game that can look quite ugly in some circumstances, even though, when you look at a big impressive build, or just even a lot of like the vistas in the game, it can look beautiful. It is just a little bit uneven, so there is a lot of work to do. And they're going to have to make design decisions that parts of the community, well, disagree with.
For sure. I mean, that's what happens, especially when you do something this early. So like one of the benefits to putting the game out early and getting people's eyes on it and getting people involved early is you get a lot of early buy-in. But the downside is because you have so many decisions that still have to be made, there are going to be people who are attached to the way things are or are attached to one design decision or way to look at it. And you will go against that and you will upset those people. The hope is that you do it, and when you do it, they don't just leave the community.
Bugs, delays, player expectations about how fast things like, say, the adventure mode ship, because that's not there right now. And there are things teased years ago that may not even come to pass.
All the dinosaurs.
Aside, Hytale is saved. Funding is now secured for years of development without strings attached. And that may just be the biggest thing, because sometimes those strings may be getting you a lot of money, but they also come with demands. Demands like the sorts of ones that maybe Riot would have applied to the game back when it was supposed to.
Belular's fucking nailing it right now. The fact that they were able to secure 2 years worth of development without an angel investor or without like an overlord publishing studio that is now going to demand they meet certain revenue thresholds gives them a level of freedom that a lot of other games don't have right now.
To become some sort of cross-platform, multi-billion franchise. Now, it can just develop at a pace that Hypixel wants to set that's accountable.
No campaign, only 4 zones at the moment, so that's 4 biomes, right? Ocean is there, but it's lackluster. Okay, some bosses are broken. Not sure if it's going to be time to fix it before EA. This came out in November. I'm assuming they got some of the bosses fixed. I don't know, I'd have to ask like Danny and everybody that's like played it. No magic system per se, just some magic items like wands and totems. It's limited, but they'll expand it after EA. So here's the thing. I think you expand in the direction that the players want, but I truly think that allowing access to modders very early on will make things like the magic system much faster. Your modders could work on the magic system completely separate from what you're doing. And then like your internal team could be like, dude, did you see this magic system? And then you reach out to the modders and then you take their system and you bring it and you iterate on it, right? Or you're like, dude, this is part of this mod. Let's bring us into the base game and then we'll iterate from it. And then it's instantly done and now you have a magic system, right? I think that bringing modders in this early was a great decision.
Only to them and their players, and you'd hope that with such a clear job and such a healthy war chest, they'll actually be able to do that free from the bullshit. I mean, Simon's even said that as a priority,
You got your
they
shark?
want to hire way more artists. I think that'll be good news for people who think the presentation's a little
I'm excited.
bit uneven. So, it's nice to start the year celebrating about something, especially when, not long ago, it seemed no one would ever be able to play this game in any form. And while performance isn't perfect, you don't need a new 50 series card or 64 gigs of RAM to play it, which is a bloody good thing. And if you want to know why it's a good thing, well, here's a video about how right now PC building is kind of fucked, and it seems like it'll only get worse.
And like to what Belular's point there, when Terea was in here earlier talking about it, she said this thing basically ran on a potato. You can literally run this game on basically anything. So I think I think the game coming out in January, it being a slow news cycle, there not being a lot of things that happen in January, I think it really gave this game a chance to shine. And it's a game that I've been looking forward to and I've been putting on the back burner, and I think that I'm just going to have to pull the trigger on it. But you guys are definitely going to have to let me know what you guys think and what you guys think about the game. Definitely let me know down in the comments below. And make sure you go over and check out Belular. Belular puts really good content out. A lot of times I agree with him, but there are other times I don't. Belular is a great creator. He's somebody that a lot of us in the industry look to when it comes to breaking news and having a really well-based opinion that we can discuss around. So if you guys haven't, definitely get over there and check out Belular.